Hey guys, well, welcome to the end of week 4, I think. Are we at the end of week 4, Nick?
Something like that.
I think so, I think the end of week 4. And it's slightly slowed down in renovation, but not for want of, not because we don't want to, but because we've been waiting on some trades to come in, some professional trades. And they've come through now so we can continue. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of a walk around and show you what we've done. And I'm going to take you outside as well and show you a little bit about what we've been doing outside. So let me flip the camera around. All right. So we finally got those lights installed. I love them. We've kept the plastic on them so when Nick does some painting of the beams, if there's any drips, they don't touch anything. Absolutely love them. We're thinking we might tweak them slightly because if you can see here, the globe is right underneath. And if you're standing near that area, it's like shines, it's blindingly shining in your face. So we're thinking we might cut like a little piece of perspex or a nice bit of decorative wood and hang it there, because there's like, if I show you, there are these 3 kind of metal bits that we can hang a nice pretty chain and cover it just slightly so it's not so blinding. But other than that, absolutely love them. 1, 2, they look so good, and it's really good also to have light again at night. We also got some downlights. Actually, you know what? I'll put them on so you can see. Although I don't know how much it'll work in the daylight. Ah! But you get the idea, like if that was above your head at night, it's a bit like, whoa, in your face. So we also got some downlights put in the dining area. That's pretty exciting. Still have to do this side with downlights, and we started on the floor. Now this floor, as you're going to see in the next footage, had to be completely ripped up because it was sloping down toward the window. And the reason why we were worried it was going to be a sinking stump like in the corner of the house, but it turns out that's not the case, which is good, because that's not a good fix, because if you have to raise the house and put a stump in, it can, wreck all the walls, because the walls then come out of shape. And what actually was the problem was these big long pieces here, these are new ones, but in the old ones, they were so long, they spanned the length of the room, and there were no stumps in the middle to hold the floor up, so it just sagged. So over time, it just sagged. So our builder friend who's been helping us, who's got all the more technological knowledge rather than just the skills, he suggested let's just rip it out and build the subfloor again, and that's what we did. So you'll notice up until here, this was the original house, and then from here down to the windows is an extension. So whoever built the extension did a really shoddy job, really home job, which is why the floor was sinking, there was no stumps, etc. But our friend, he ripped it all out, and you'll see that coming up. We put all these new posts and beams and whatever the words are called to make it straight with new yellow tongue down, ready for us to lay our Tasmanian, what is it, Tasmanian oak?
Yeah, Tassie oak.
To lay our new Tassie oak floor down, which I'm really excited about. But this was important. We had to rip up the floor anyway because the plumber had to come and put new pipes in. The reason why is we had this weird bench design here that came right out, and it would just, you couldn't reach the window. So when you were standing at the bench, you couldn't reach the window here. It was so far away. I had to half climb on the bench to open and shut the window, which was so dumb. So we ripped it out, which means the sink is going to be closer to the window, which means the pipe had to be extended. So you can kind of see there, that's where the old, see there, that's where the old pipe ended, and he's put a new one in there, and he's extended the taps as well. So that's good. We had to get that done. We had to get some electrical work done because we're moving things around. We're moving the stove around, the fridge around from the original floor plan of the kitchen. So that'll have to get done so we can have tons of power points where I need them, which is pretty exciting. Nick has also started refurbishing this window. This window is, I think, a painter's nightmare. From what he has gathered, this has been a recycled window, meaning someone's got it from a restoration yard or a junkyard and have installed it in this house. But this, to us using it today, we're like the 3rd users of the window, he believes, because he's just gone through so many layers of paint of different colours, and it's not built as if it's fitting for the house. So you'll see here if I zoom in, It's like it's just, let it focus. Is it going to focus? Okay, come on. Oh, well, it decides not going to focus, but it was a mess. He has filled it and sanded it and painted it and filled it and sanded it and painted it, but it's coming up much nicer. You can see this one here. I don't know if you can tell. It's like a old ugly navy blue. The white, it looks so much nicer. So that's what he's been working on. Just taking him forever. It's funny, you can spend hours doing this job till it looks nice and it's finished, and you think to yourself, I spent a lot of time, but it didn't have massive impact. Whereas you can spend hours on a floor and then all of a sudden you have a floor. So that's been pretty cool. But that's basically what we've been working on. Oh, and we put this new post in. This new cedar post in the center of the room. And the bench, the island bench, will be kind of around it. I don't know if you remember in the old picture, there was a very crappy, actually it wasn't even a proper post. It was just a plank of wood there that hovered above the ground. Once we ripped the floor out, I realised it wasn't actually attached to anything. It was just decorative, wasn't doing anything. But that's what we've been doing. Let's go outside and I'll show you a little bit of the work outside as well. Okay, so back in December, just before we bought the house, a ridiculous storm came through. And this storm ripped down 10 trees maybe in our property. And it was a mess. Oh, it's very white there. If I get in the shade. No. We're going here. So it was an absolute mess. There were trees everywhere. And we have a very old, crappy suburban chainsaw, not a country chainsaw, meaning it's probably not designed for the amount of work we needed to do. So we've been meaning to clean it up, but we just hadn't had a chance. But our lovely neighbour offered to help us trim down some of the tree trunks. And we were like, really? No. No, he's like, it'll be fine. And he's like, that's what we do around here. We just help each other out. And he just let himself in to our front yard. There's a gate. He came home one day and he just chopped so many trees. And we were just astonished that people would do this, because that's not been our experience in Melbourne. Now, our neighbours in Melbourne were actually really lovely and awesome, lovely people, but they weren't necessarily going to go out of their way and mow our lawn or cut our trees or garden for us. And this is pretty physical labour. I tried to help. I tried to cut some and I nearly died. I do not have the stamina for it. So I just wanted to show you a little bit about that and how much we've cleaned and how much he did. So this is just a pile of scrap wood that we've been collecting from around the property and that we brought with us that we're going to use as burning. These are all the smaller twigs that, or I shouldn't call them twigs, they're quite large, but these are all the smaller branches that he kept for, like, you know, helping fire. This is all the tree that he cut. We stacked it for him, but still, it took forever. This is just one corner of our big property. All these branches need to be burned or mulched or something. This is another old tree that got left behind. You'll see here, this is where the tree got. So there was two big branches, I guess, that fell down in the storm, and these are huge. Like, if you can imagine another two this big that fell down this way. So it was completely blocking the access to this garden. And he has just been trimming them for us. So I'm making these piles of branches that need to be burned. See, there's another pile of firewood here. We are so eternally grateful for the hard work he did. There's some more that need to be trimmed. It's just insane how much work he did. There, you can see that tree there. I'll go around. It literally just snapped off. That's how the storm was. Tree snapped. So I am very grateful for his help, because although we are definitely going to get a chainsaw, we just hadn't got around to it because we've been renovating. And the fact that he did that for us is really quite beautiful. So we definitely have more trees that we need to trim that have fallen down. I'm going to show you the biggest one. The behemoth. We don't even know how to tackle it. How does one even tackle this kind of tree? How do you even cut this down? Like, this is huge. I don't know. We have to figure it out. But we're not in any rush because I got to get that floor down on that kitchen. I got to get that floor down in the kitchen so we can lay the floor in the kitchen so we can get back to not cooking, camp cooking style. Anyway, let's continue watching and I'll show you the renovations as explaining what we just did.
If I could take you up in boom boom bosh, boom boom, tell me I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Life could be a dream. And I ding dong, plans would come true. And I ding dong, spend my whole life loving you. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Yeah. And I ding dong, lang lang lang, boom boom, yeah. And I ding dong, lang lang lang. If I could take you up in boom boom bosh, boom boom, tell me I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Life could be a dream. And I ding dong, plans would come true. And I ding dong, spend my whole life loving you. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. And I ding dong, lang lang lang, boom boom. Take you up in boom boom bosh, boom boom, tell me I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Life could be a dream. And I ding dong, plans would come true. And I ding dong, spend my whole life loving you. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Yeah. And I ding dong, lang lang lang, boom boom. Yeah. And I ding dong, lang lang lang. If I could take you up in